Hatred destroys the one who hates. The others that you hated go on about their business. Who care of us?
So the legacy of Medgar Evers is an understanding of our own humanity and of our own responsibility of seeing that in other people.
He is written out of history. He's just not included as Malcolm and Martin. To me, it's the 3 M's, and Medgar's right up there at the lead.
Everlasting, Life and Legacy of Medgar Evers. Watch now on MPB Passport. Visit mpbonline.org for more. The nation's oldest traveling celebration of the arts, the National Folk Festival, is coming to downtown Jackson November 7th through the 9th. Discover the sights, sounds, and flavors of our nation. The full lineup is now available, featuring blues, gospel, Puerto Rican, Irish, Southern Soul, Bluegrass, Korean, Zydeco, Flamenco, HBCU marching bands, Choctaw, Go-Go, and more. It's unique and unforgettable fun for the entire family, and it's free. More at nationalfolkfestival.com.
Okie dokie, folks. Welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing, and we're going to be talking about gardening. I mean, really gardening. Now that it's feeling a little cool out there, some of us got plenty of rain, the dirt's ready to dig, but the weather's getting right for some interesting plants. And good morning, Java. How you doing this morning, man?
Oh, man, I'm doing fine this morning. It is crisp in October. Well, not really crisp, but it's October.
It's crisp enough.
Yeah, there you go.
Crisp
yeah.
enough. We're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff that can be planted this weekend, this time of year, and I brought a whole bunch. It looks like a jungle in here.
No, it looks like a garden center. You need just a couple little signs, $2, $3.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with our live stream, folks, if you want to go to YouTube. And just type in Gestalt Gardener or Mississippi Public Broadcasting. You can see the kind of plants that I brought in. You can also listen anytime. You can tune into it 24/7. Again, YouTube, Gestalt Gardener, or Mississippi Public Broadcasting, because I brought in just a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about it, but would like to remind folks this is a live call-in program. If you've got some things on your mind, you're concerned about when should I put out stuff to prevent stickers next year, or I got my azaleas look burned, anything like, if it's related to gardening, indoors or out, potted plants are in the ground, this is the place to come, because I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I'm not. Matter of fact, I try my best not to buy anything if I can help it. But Java, all these plants out here, man, I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, I think you're kind of like Kevin with Legos. Just can't help yourself.
Yeah, well, it's not that we can't help ourselves. We don't want to help ourselves. But one thing, before we get too much into it, and if you're watching the live stream, you can see these pictures. Otherwise, you can do it later. But let's see if we can get John C. or to call up picture number 1. This is from last year, Java, something that I did here in the studio last year when I cut a persimmon seed open to see what the embryo was shaped like. And it was shaped like a spoon.
That still fascinates me, because you can get the spoon, the fork, or the knife.
That's right. Well, persimmons seem to be ripening a little bit early this year. They've been ripening on the coast for the past couple of weeks. Usually people think you need to wait till frost till you can eat persimmons, but frost just happens to sort of be about when they normally ripen. But when persimmons start falling on the ground, they're ready to eat. They're not going to pucker up and all like that. But if you take a seed out of it, it's shaped like a butter bean. I hold mine in a pair of pliers because it kind of and I slice it lengthwise like you're cutting open a loaf of bread. Like a potato or something. In the middle of it, it's got the little embryo for next year, and whatever it's shaped like is supposed to predict the weather. We're going to do some next week, but I just want to say that this is a time to think about it. And picture number 2, if we could put that up there, this is an oriental persimmon. Java, our native persimmons are small. They're smaller than a golf ball. They'll fit inside a golf ball. And our native persimmons are male and female, separate plants. Male makes pollen, females make the fruits. If you have both, so if you're thinking about planting a persimmon, got to have at least 2, and one's got to be male and one's got to be female. Or you go with the oriental persimmons. They call them Japanese persimmons. They're about the size of your fist. They're ornamental. They're among the most gorgeous plants you can put in your landscape for this time of year. They grow well all parts of the state. This is a picture of the one that my great-grandmother planted before I was born. and Katrina blew it down. But it's a gorgeous plant. It's a good landscape specimen, and this particular one doesn't have seeds. So you can't check on the weather. It's self-fruitful, which means and it's also non-astringent. You could eat it, slice it like a sliced tomato, or just take a bite out of it. Anyway, the Japanese type persimmons are great landscape plants. They're beautiful. They're pretty. They're very easy to grow, and also they're just gorgeous this time of year. So anyway, persimmon time. We're here to talk with folks about gardening, though. Let's see what's going on. We got a call.
Yeah, the call's getting lined up. So
I can't see who this just said. Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, Kevin Farrell. He's on the phones this morning, and he's getting it together. But while we're waiting on the phone calls, I do want to remind people that you can leave a question in the YouTube chat. If you are, watching us on YouTube, good morning to Margie and Jade and Timothy, who've already jumped in the chat this morning. But if you want to, you can leave a question on the YouTube chat.
And we're going to be talking just a few minutes, State Fair time, by the way, but we're going to be talking in a couple of minutes, going to show some pictures of the Agriculture Museum in Jackson. It's at Lakeland Drive, right before we get to the interstate at 55, at Lakeland Drive or Highway 25. The Agriculture Museum's got a little herb garden there. So I've been doing it since the 80s. Master Gardeners help take care of it. But they're having a special event there this weekend. Wells Fest is going to be at the Ag Museum this year, and it's a good chance to come by and see some of the plants we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be planting them in herb garden today. We'll talk about that a little bit, but let's get back to business. Let's talk to Cliff, who's calling from Jackson. Good morning, Cliff. How are you?
Good morning, Felder. How are you doing today?
So far, so good. What's up?
My question is about, I'm building a home. My question is about my lawn. Sod versus seeding, and what type of seed should I use this time of year? And then where should I use the seed of the grass that I really want?
Okay, and you got plenty of time to think about it. It's really too late to plant your permanent lawn this year. First part of September is sort of the cutoff. You can lay sod if you want to. It's expensive, but get this. It doesn't have time to put really good roots in the ground before winter, which means you're going to have to water it all winter, which is a pain. What I would do is I would put out some ryegrass, sometime this month, October, early November, and they sell it as annual or perennial. The perennial is not perennial, but it's a better quality. If you'll go get or order online some perennial ryegrass seed and just throw it out and wet it down, just wet it down. Within a week or so, it'll sprout, but you'll have something that looks good all winter. It'll keep the soil from washing away. But most important, it grows roots down in the ground over the wintertime. So next year, whatever grass you decide to plant, it's got little fingers, little roots. As they decay, they make room for your grass to grow roots quickly into the dirt. So, in other words, put some ryegrass out there sometime in March or April. You can cut it and just put either sod on top of it or else throw some grass seed out there, and it'll be ready to go because the ryegrass will provide ready-made paths for the roots of your new grass. As far as what kind, Cliff, it really depends on what you want to do. If you got plenty of sunshine, Bermuda grass will grow. All the grasses will do fine, but Bermuda grass needs to be cut fairly close. It needs to be fertilized. This is what they put on athletic fields, soccer fields, and things like that. But it's kind of high maintenance grass. Your options, if you want to control weeds later, you can control weeds in it better. But St. Augustine, only from sod, centipede, sod, or seed. They're lower maintenance, but they have to be mowed high. And if you're the kind of person who wants things really nice and neat and tight, this ain't the grass for you because it likes to be like a shag. Well, you're not old enough to know what a shag rug is, but shag rug type. Centipede, St. Augustine, great grasses, need to be mowed high though.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, they're completely different. Do you want to put on a T-shirt or you put on a button-down collar? They're different kinds of shirts. They're different kind of grasses.
My concern mainly was, since my yard has been graded now, I have some pretty steep inclines.
Yeah.
I didn't want hard gully rain to wash away my grading, and I wanted to.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do about that this time of year. Ryegrass will hold it somewhat. If you could get some pine straw or something like that, you know what pixie sticks are? We used to shake them out and have to pick them up.
Yes.
Okay, if you could shake some pine straw over the area, just where you can still see the dirt, and throw the seed out, the pine straw will hold the seeds in place during rain. So that helps a little bit. So if you could just shake it out real light, when you still see plenty of dirt, then that'll help slow down erosion. But you're going to probably have to do a little repair work in the spring.
Thank you, Mr. Felder. Appreciate your help.
Good luck, Cliff. Have fun, man. All righty. Grass, I'm a turf guy. I don't even cut my hair, but I do shave. I know what to do. And I studied turf at Mississippi State, also at the Lawn Institute, the Scott's Lawn Institute up in Ohio. And, I'm in favor of clover. If he wanted just to have a nice-looking, interesting yard that's going to hold stuff, little ryegrass and some plain old white clover put out there, it looks good, it grows over the winter, and it'll really help stop the erosion.
And I think the sod option is just, it's instant.
It is, and it
But
will
like you
help.
said, it's expensive though.
It is expensive, and if you're going to lay sod, sort of, make it where the seams don't match up. So anyway, let's go up to South Haven and see what Ann's got going on. Good morning, Ann.
Good morning. I have always gardened, always grown vegetables in my garden, and I'm trying flowers now, and since I'm retired. I'm planting perennials, and I want to know if I rototill in the fall, does that ruin the seeding? Will they still grow?
Do you already have perennials there?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. Do you have a big garden, a lot of flowers, big area?
No.
What
No, I'm just starting out.
What I would do, tilling, and I don't have a tiller, but if I need, anytime I do need one, I just rent one because I can rent a good one a lot cheaper than I can even take care of another one. But if you could have somebody break the dirt up and turn it over a shovel deep, it's a lot of trouble, Ann. But if you can do it right the first time, then you got it made. If you could have the dirt just turned upside down, one bite at a time, a shovel bite at a time, and then when you're done, just spread some mulch, some bark or something over it, then it'll be ready to plant. And the roots can grow a whole lot deeper than what a tiller does. Tiller only goes certain depth. And also, it sort of makes the bottom of the hole slick or smooth. It'd be better if you do use a tiller. I still follow it later with a shovel every now and then and just loosen it up deeper so you don't have just a slick, hard pan at the bottom of that. But anyway, I use a turning fork.
The Mississippi clays has been a real deterrent for my husband and me. We're from Michigan, and we're used to sand.
Oh yeah, well, and by the way, I've lectured all over Michigan, a whole different ball game down here. It is a lot of trouble doing it by hand, but if you do it right the first time, it is done for good. And if you'll add just a little bark, maybe a little compost or something to your dirt, sort of like adding crackers to a bowl of chili, just stir some stuff into your native dirt, and then cover it with bark mulch, then it'll be good from then on. Whole lot better than using a tiller and breaking it all up.
Okay. Well, a lot of I just started small, and the plants that I put in this summer, dried up and fell over and seeded and all that, and I didn't know whether to pull them out or just rototill it or what to do with it.
I would not rototill it. Again, and by the way, the number one tool, I've got a cottage garden. It's got a lot of plants in it. I have a few flower beds I do every year, not a bunch because I use shrubs and stuff. But I use a turning fork. It's not like a hay fork, but it's a turning fork.
Right.
And it's and it's convenient. It's easy. You can stick it in the ground and wiggle it back and forth. You can loosen up between plants. Once you get the dirt going pretty good, you can do it with one hand. You can do it with a glass of wine in one hand. My turning fork is my number one tool besides my hand pruners. And to me, that's a whole lot better. Now, let me ask you this: are you here in Mississippi, we can grow stuff all winter as well as all summer. And some of my favorite flower perennials are those that bloom in the winter, like daffodils. And we don't do tulips this far south, but daffodils and a few little winter annuals, put out there just for looks.
Right. Well, that sounds good. We have some farm animals. It's kind of a little hobby farm, couple acres, and we use aged manure to fertilize. that's been there for 10 years.
Right, and it's been there long enough to where the weed seeds are not going to be viable.
Yeah.
But that, that works. But again, if you could dig it a good shovel depth the first time, every time you do a new bed, it's a real pain. But then you're done. Otherwise, you're saving yourself a lot of labor down the road. Really are.
Yes. Okay. I'll do that, and I'll look up some flowers for winter.
Oh no! I tell you what. Do y'all do anything on Facebook?
Sorry, it broke up.
Do you do Facebook?
Yes.
Okay. Join Mississippi Gardening. It's Mississippians. Okay. People help each other. They've got all sorts of lists of plants. Here's what doing well. Here's it's a good community. We keep it nice. But
Great.
Through that, you can email me, and I've got a list of brochures. One called Flowers for Winter. I've got one on tough plants, one on the best roses, the daffodils that come back year after year. But go to the Mississippi Gardening Facebook. It's a nice, helpful community.
Thank you.
Okay,
I will do that.
Appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
All righty, Java. We'll get taking a little bit of a break. I got a cheesy tune coming up, by the way, and it's extra cheesy, I might add. It is State Fair weekend. If you want to go down there in the Trademark Building, they got a little small display, the flower garden. But also Wells Fest is this weekend at the Agriculture Museum. It's from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and they've got a plant sale of heirloom plants that were grown by real people, not the kind of stuff you find at garden centers. But if you're there, be sure to swing by the herb garden behind it is free. The Ag Museum is free this weekend. But anyway, swing by the Doctor's Herb Garden. Look at some of the what I call ornamentals, things that look good, they're pretty, they're floriferous, they're colorful, and when you're tired of looking at them, you can eat them. And that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit. But give us a call. It's toll-free, 1-877-MPB-RING. Me and Java and all the folks here at Mississippi Public Broadcasting, we're glad you joined us.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Every parent wants their child to grow, to explore, and to dream big. At MPB, we're proud to support families and teachers across Mississippi with trusted educational programming and resources that inspire learning and spark imagination. From PBS Kids favorites to digital tools and early learning support, MPB is here for young minds, engaged classrooms, and families who believe in the power of learning at every age. Empowering families, inspiring learners. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, is a brand new companion podcast to the MPB documentary Everlasting, the life and legacy of Medgar Evers. Join me, Rita Brent, as we dive deeper into the story with exclusive interviews and conversations about the enduring legacy of Medgar Evers. Everlasting, the Legacy Podcast, available on the MPB app or wherever you get your podcasts, with new episodes every other week. MPB, your stories, our mission.
All right, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. We're going to slide right on up to Lafayette County, Oxford. Janice, how did you survive all those people in town last weekend for the game?
Oh, just barely. It was not. It was not fun.
I was coming back from we did a broadcast from New Albany, and I made the mistake of pulling off the highway just to grab a burger, and I pulled off, and immediately, it's like I tried to get back out, and it took me 45 minutes just to turn around and get out.
I can imagine.
What you got going on today? What's up?
Well, I have a really nice zoysia lawn.
Uh-huh.
It's been there for about 25 years. I do almost nothing to it except, mow it in the summer. Really looks nice in the winter, too. But now, the past year, I'm getting patches of crabgrass in it. And I want to know how to deal with that.
Well, a couple of things. It's too late this year because, of course, we're almost time for fall. And by the way, I love zoysia is as soon as we get a little cool weather, it turns a perfect uniform tan color. It's beautiful in the wintertime.
It is beautiful.
But when you have weeds, a lot of times they're a symptom that your lawn is not very thick. I think it's really important to fertilize grass at least every 3 or 4 years, and it's too late this year. But if you'll wait, and zoysia is one of the last grasses to green up in the spring. It's slower than the other grasses. But if you wait till it's been mowed a time or two after it's greened up, and go ahead and put out a good quality lawn food, that slow release stuff, it doesn't take much, and it will recycle itself through grass clippings for a long time. It doesn't take much. Don't overdo it. But this will inject a little vigor into your grass. It'll fill in better, it'll get thicker, and actually crowd out a lot of weeds. Otherwise, it's going to be a matter of going out and spot treating. You got to be careful because what will kill crabgrass can kill zoysias. You need to choose one, a herbicide that says it's safe to use on Bermuda and zoysia. There are some.
Are they on? Okay, so I just need to look at the labels of the various.
Yeah. You want something for There's two kinds of herbicides: those for grassy weeds and those for broadleaf weeds. Yours is a grassy weed, but turf grass is a grass too. So there's some that you can use on zoysia and Bermuda grass that won't hurt them, and it should be on the. But anyway, we're looking at next year, really next year.
And can I treat the crabgrass now?
Well, it's gonna go down. You could just spot treat it, but it's gonna be going down real soon anyway. I mean, we're gonna have a frost in a few weeks, so if you want to, but it's not as easy to control right now, and it comes back from seed next year anyway. So even if you kill what's out there now, you have to deal with it next year.
Okay, so I'll just wait on that. Okay, Felder, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for calling, Janice. And Adrian is calling from. It says Cherry, Mississippi. Is that right, Adrian? Are you from Cherry, Mississippi, or Terry?
Terry.
Terry, I got you. So what's going on in Terry?
Good morning, Felder. I would like to ask you about beech leaf disease. And I'll give you the context in that I moved to Terry from an area that had a lot of beech trees about a year ago. And we were starting to get beech leaf disease in the area where I was living at the time. And I love beech trees, so I dug up a few tiny little babies from my property there, and I brought them with me to Mississippi. Yeah. And I don't think the ones that I brought, obviously they were babies and beech leaf was just starting there. I don't think they were infected, but I wonder, is there any risk in planting them around my home here in terms of transporting beech leaf disease?
Well, beech leaf disease is actually called by it's not an insect, but a type of nematode. It's a critter that causes it, distorts the leaves and all like that. But and you can spray, but I haven't seen beech. This is something I learned about years ago, but I haven't seen it here. So I don't. It's not any problem planting beech close to the tree. I mean, close to the house. But I don't know what to tell you about the beech leaf disease. It's going to be a gamble.
Well, I would hate to infect other beech trees around my home here, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, again, it's caused by a little parasite, like a thing. It's called a nematode. And I just don't, there is an insecticide you could put around the roots of your trees that's soaked up into the trees. The same thing they use for crepe myrtle bark scale. And luckily, beech doesn't. Well, the problem with beech is they have a lot of our moths and butterflies. Their caterpillars feed on the beech leaves. It's just a tough one. I don't know what to say. It's just gonna be a gamble. If you go online, there's going to be a good bit of stuff about beech leaf disease and how you could treat it long term and all, but. It's just not a problem I've ever had to. I've never seen it. I've just heard about it.
Fair enough.
One other thing, if you, anytime you plant a lot of a particular plant, you're going to run the risk of problems spreading quickly to others. So maybe put 1 or 2 beech trees out there kind of far apart and enjoy them. Put something completely different in between, sort of mix stuff up. That'll help a little bit.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, didn't help much, but gave it my best. Gave it my best.
No, I've read a ton online about it, and I thought, I'm just going to ask Felder, see what he says. So
and by the way, folks who may not be from the beaches, they're one of the prettiest trees in the wintertime. Their leaves turn a real pretty rich tan, and they stand out in the woods. They really, really stand out. But I just don't know how much of a risk that particular insect is here. Nematode. Just don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you for considering the question.
All righty. That's not much help. Java, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah, that is the truth. And sometimes the time goes by really fast. I can't believe it's already halfway through the show.
Yeah. Hey, before we do our cheesy music, let's look at a couple of pictures real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Ag Museum, which is it's on Lakeland Drive, right before Highway 25, right before it hits Interstate 55. Picture number 4 I've got here is of the Ag Museum herb garden. We got several raised beds. Well, this is just one. These are all culinary herbs, Java. You can see the African blue basil. You can see oregano, rosemary, peppers, chives. It's just a nice little. It's a raised bed. It's only about 3.5 feet wide and about 6 feet long, and I dug the dirt up in it. I added stuff to it, fluffed it up, put a little board around the edge to make it pretty. It's something to put my knee on.
Now, raised bed, is it the dirt from the ground, or did you fill it?
No, well, what I did was I built the box, and then I dug the dirt that was inside it, a shovel deep, and then I added stuff to it, so I fluffed it up. But let's look at picture number 5. Because this is what I got yesterday. I went to a couple of garden centers, went to Moore's Greenhouse, which is a nice little mom and pop place. This is what the back of my Jeep looked like.
Yeah, now you were weighted down, man.
It is, but we've got Dusty Miller, which is pretty white. I've got 3 kinds of kale: purple kale, blue kale. I've got pansies, got little Johnny Jump Up violas, got parsley, and I brought a lot of that in here to the studio. But I even got some snapdragons, just because I don't know if you can eat them, but they're just fun. But this is a nice little garden, and you could do this, Java, in a pot. You and Crystal have got that really nice little garden. Mm-hmm. And what a lot of people do when they have raised beds is they just put stuff in rows like their garden. But what you do, just mix them all up. Put something tall and spiky, something round and frilly. Mix stuff up. Kind of crowd it in there, almost like what you do if you went to a buffet. Fill your plate up with all sorts of stuff, and they run together, mo better.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to show one other picture for the Ag Museum. If you swing by there, folks, picture number 5. This is a flower that's not much bigger than, it's maybe 2 inches across. This is the flower of the camellia called Camellia sinensis. All the tea in China is made from this little fall-blooming camellia. Not a showy flower, but it's a plant that grows well in Mississippi, and you can make tea from the leaves. And you can see that, again, at the Ag Museum Herb Garden when you're at Wells Fest. Starts at 10 o'clock in the morning till 4. It's free. Swing by the Ag Museum and see what they got going. My tune today is from the 1945 movie called State Fair. State Fair. This is the theme song from State Fair 1945, and I think it's real appropriate because of the Mississippi State Fair that's going on right now. Time to go get you some corn dogs and some free biscuits.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Hatred destroys the one who hates. The others that you hated go on about their business. Care of us.
So the legacy of Medgar Evers is an understanding of our own humanity and of our own responsibility of seeing that in other people.
He is written out of history. He's just not included as Malcolm and Martin. To me, it's the 3 M's, and Medgar is right up there at the lead.
Everlasting, Life and Legacy of Medgar Evers. Watch now on MPB Passport. Visit mpbonline.org for more.
When the weather turns severe, when breaking news affects your family, when Mississippi needs answers, MPB is there. We provide real-time emergency alerts, trusted news coverage, and live broadcasts of emergency updates. Available on TV, radio, and online. MPB is on the air and by your side every day of the year. Because when it matters most, Mississippi turns to MPB, Mississippi's trusted source. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. I want to thank our live stream producers, Abram Nanny and John C. They're the ones putting up all these pictures and making sure that I look tall and smart. Java, occasionally they cut away to you two. You got your MPB hat on.
Yeah, I'm completely on brand this Friday.
They got MPB hat and shades and all, man, oh man. You know, I was giving a talk in New Albany last week, and they didn't say we love the Gestalt Gardener. They said we love you in Java.
Well, I'll tell you, this morning I was dropping my daughter off at school, and shout out to JPS because they're doing College Spirit Day.
Oh, boy.
It was so many kids were running around with college shirts on. But I had my shirt on today, and a guy who was walking the neighborhood, he just was like, "We love MPB."
You know, and we love Mississippi supporting it because these are weird times. But anyway, we got more to talk about with the edible stuff, different kinds of lettuces and all. But we've got a guy from Florence been hanging on a while. Roger, thanks for holding, man.
Well, hello, Felder. Hello, you guys. You do a great job, and all those compliments that people repeat all the time.
We're just having fun.
Yeah, I know, and we need to encourage all listeners to put their money up because we got to support you guys. I wrote a poem some time back because I'm a son of a forester and sensitive to trees, and we have a lot of beech trees around here south of Florence where I live. And I wrote a poem, and I wanted to suggest that I could read it. It's clean, it's nice. But
okay, go for it. And you wrote this.
This is called The Stubborn Beech. Beech leaves drop last of all. Until spring, they won't fall. All the forest is clear. Oh, shoot, my computer timed out on it.
Schadenfreude happens, man.
Oh, gosh, I'll get it back. I don't know why I didn't just print it out and read it. But
son of a forest. But when anyway, you got it back yet?
Beech leaves drop last of all. Until spring, they won't fall. All the forest is clear, so the creatures all fear that their moments are seen before spring brings the green that hides them and their kind from man's efforts to find. But for cedar and pine, one sees through a straight line. Only beech leaves remain to stop sunlight and rain. Now warm weather arrives, and new creation thrives. But most beech leaves hang fair through the winter's last stare, and then litter the ground with the slightest of sound as they return to dust, as we all someday must.
Very nice. I mean, there's a lot packed into that little poem. How old were you when you wrote that?
Oh, gosh, that's interesting. I don't know when I wrote. Well, it's been 10 or 20 years, I guess.
That's a beautiful poem. And by the way, I was talking with a friend the other day who we found out we have something in common. We go around town looking for bags of leaves on curbs to take back. Yeah. I don't have any beech leaves because they don't fall in the fall. They wait till springtime.
That's right. It's beautiful. I see it now. March 13th, 2015, for my wife, who was in her last efforts to resist Parkinson's disease. Yeah. By the way, contribute to the Parkinson Foundation, because that's a wicked disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote it 10 years ago.
Well, Roger, we appreciate you sharing that, man. Very poignant. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you, Roger. Thank you, Roger. That was right on time.
Yeah.
That was right on time.
And this friend and I, we were talking to Mitzi Schaefer. She does garden design around town. But anyway, we're kicking around ideas, and I was telling her about walking around the neighborhood. People are starting to put bags of leaves. They're raking leaves when it's starting to fall. But what I do is I look for three things, Java, when I walk around. If I'm gonna go get my truck and bring the leaves back home, first of all, I look at the trees. I want to make sure they're all hardwoods. If they got pine or magnolia in it, or I don't want them because it's too much trouble. I want just real tree leaves because they make better mulch and feed the soil. But I also look around at their yard. If they got a perfectly clean, uniform lawn, that tells me those leaves going to have herbicides in them.
And you don't want them.
No, I want leaves that have been mowed. They've been chopped up. They've got grass clippings in it that get all nitrogen, which helps them decompose. So a mixture of chopped grass, chopped leaves, all hardwoods. And Mitzi said she looks for something else. She says she wants she kicks them first to see if she can physically pick them up because they're wet. She can't pick them up. And she also wants to make sure they're in a decent bag so it doesn't tear when she puts them in her car.
Now that's the real nugget right there.
That's right. So look at, when you're going around looking for leaves for your yard, you want to make sure they're all good leaves. They got grass clippings, they're chopped up, and that you can pick it up and the bag's not going to tear.
Because I've learned the hard way. All lawn bags are not created equal.
No, they're not. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff you're going to find only here on Think Radio. So anyway, we were talking about Wells Fest a little while ago. I wanted to mention that I'm also going to be planting garlic. I don't know if we can. I'm going to hold this up, see if John C. can get on this. This is some of the garlic I grew last year. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this individual cloves. I'm going to plant them, about an inch or two deep. You plant these in the fall. Here's just one individual one. You plant these in the fall. It grows over the wintertime. And it looks like, just like almost like daffodil leaves. And in the springtime, when the leaves start to die, they dig it up and got whole cloves. But October is a great month for setting out garlic. And while we got a close-up here, I also have this flower. It's called a snapdragon. Snapdragon like cool weather, but I want to show it in case some people don't know why it's called snapdragon. Is you can take the flower and make it snap. Oh, it's not doing it. Of course, I might have one that doesn't work. Java, it's like growing potato. Anyway, snapdragons, when you squeeze them, they snap open.
Yeah, I've
like
seen
this.
it. Yeah, the bottom lip kind of moves back and forth.
Yeah, but hey, how about all this elemental stuff I've got here?
No, and the one thing, as always, when you bring in a bunch of flowers, the fragrant is in the room.
Yep. Well, I've got three kinds of kale. One of my favorites is called La Sonata. It's a blue kale. Some people call it dinosaur kale because the leaves look kind of like what think a dinosaur skin would look like. I got purple kale, parsley. I got Dusty Miller and different kinds of lettuce. Let's see if we can get right up. I can't reach it. We're gonna have to switch to that other camera. Yeah,
Short arms.
Here we go. I got green lettuce. I got burgundy lettuce, and I've got Swiss chard. And all three of those are pretty as they can be. When you're tired of looking at them, you can eat them. I also have these little violas. It's like a pansy relative. Violas are small. They bloom better. They don't have real showy flowers. They have a lot of them. But this one's called Johnny Jump Up. It's the purple and yellow one that's been grown forever. All of these plants, Java, will grow through the worst winter. And, and y'all's little back garden, you got all those raised beds and all. Summertime, I like planting in the fall for winter better because, of course, I'm gone in the summertime. But over the wintertime, we get plenty of rain. We don't have as many insects to deal with, and it's pretty. So I like just mix stuff up. And, you can go out and just take one or two leaves off of each of these plants, have a beautiful, nutritious salad right out of your garden, and whether whoever picked it washed their hands or not. In my case, no, I didn't.
Yeah, it is time for us to flip our garden over, and I think you inspired us a little bit to go with these fall winter elementals.
Yeah. We got plenty of time, folks. You want to give us a call? It's toll free, 1-877-MPB-RING. And we got plenty of time to talk about stuff. But I also want to mention that I have a couple of pictures here I wanted to show. One is picture number 7. This is a plant I saw this past week. Matter of fact, there's a whole row of them. This is what an azalea looks like if you didn't plant it right. Folks here on the radio, this is a plant that's completely brown. It's a pretty brown. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful. I don't even know what it's rust color. Anyway,
it's kind of more reddish than brown.
But you can see Java in the center of it. You can see the root ball of that plant. What they did was they planted. These are landscape professionals. Actually, it was workers for landscape professionals who probably weren't being paid to do it right. But what they did is they dug a hole just big enough. They pulled the plant out of the pot, stuck it right in the hole, potting soil and all. And what happened is that little root ball stayed wetter during wet spell, dried out real quick. And it's really important to dig a wide hole and loosen up potting soil so the roots can get out into your new dirt. But what happened, they just crammed a plant right out of the pot into the ground, and it stayed wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry until it said, you know what, I'm out of here. And luckily, it's a whole row of them, so it looks like they're done on purpose.
Now that's like I said, because this color is a pretty kind of color, brownish reddish.
Not going to bloom next spring though. Anyway, it's really important. And Java, when I set out all these little plants, the violas and the snapdragons and the kales and the burgundy mustard, even though they're small plants, I work my dirt up. I'm going to loosen the potting soil and spread them roots out a little bit so they'll get knit better, they'll get rooted better, and they'll grow a whole lot better. Don't just pull a plant out of the pot, stick it in a hole in the ground. That's one of my top 10 garden tips. Wide holes, well, there's 2 of them. Wide holes, loosen the roots. Real important. Hey, let's go down to the Gulf Coast. We've been from all the way up near Tennessee down to Bay St. Louis. Jane, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So far, so good.
Great.
What's
I
up?
have Texas sage.
Yep.
Spindly.
Yeah.
Probably 4.5, 5 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make them obviously more full.
Yeah.
I had pruned them. I pruned them in the spring. Obviously, I didn't do enough pruning.
Well, yeah, they're going to grow. You know, Texas sage. I love. I've got one in my yard because it really likes hot, dry weather. It grows in car park. Parking lot islands with no care in Texas. Love the blue foliage. I love the kind of lavender flowers. But two things. First of all, they don't really like a lot of water. So if you're watering it, stop. It grows in Texas, okay, in cemetery. But also, sometime over the wintertime, late winter, you go ahead and prune it back. And then when the new growth comes out, snip the tips off of it. And instead of getting long and leggy, it will branch out. So cut it back, snip the tips off the new growth, and that'll make it nice and full.
Awesome. How far do I cut it back from the ground?
Oh, you can cut it to 6 inches tall if you want to, but, you know.
Holy shoot.
I'm just saying if you want to. If you want to.
No, I do. I do.
Okay, here's
I want to do the big deed.
Okay, here's the deal. Wherever you make your cut is where the new growth comes out. So what I do with mine, like you do a rose, you don't have to cut it back hard, but cut it back halfway, 2/3, 1/3, something like that. But when you cut it, don't cut it straight across. Cut it in that natural curved shape, like a snow cone top. And again, do that sometime in the winter. New growth, tip prune it, and it'll put out new growth and still bloom next year.
That's awesome. Now, when I also want to put some white clover down. And I know you just talked to somebody. I was washing my car. Do I need to turn that ground up to do that?
No. Clover grows along the roadside. Just throw the seed out there. If you can wet it down, you don't need to water it, but just wet the seeds down to get them started. Maybe every day or two, just wet it down. And when it sprouts, you can let it go.
Awesome. I can't thank you enough.
All right. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
All right, appreciate that call. By the way, Java, we got some live stream calls. Got one from Nancy and Byram.
Yeah, well, let's see. We got a couple live stream questions. Here's one from William, where he asks, "Why does it seem that fire ants prefer to make their beds next to driveways and roads?
It's a good question. It might be because that's as far as they could get. But the right along the driveways, those collect heat during the day. Fire ants don't like cool weather, and they don't like wet, so they're going to build their mounds up to get above the rain and also to collect sunshine. And the pavement is nice and warm. And plus, it's got a nice long, they can make the nest along the, you just see the mounted up stuff, but the nest itself may go in either direction along the pavement. But it's just warmer there.
Okay, that makes sense.
And also, they may say, you know what, this is the river too far. We're going to camp right here.
All right, now we got a question from Jacqueline, and she says, I have a butternut squash plant that is beautiful, growing like a weed, but every little squash that forms, soon the bloom turns brown and the end of the squash turns dark. Yeah. I bought the plant from our friends at Wormworks, so it's healthy.
Yeah. This is classic. Squash have got separate male and female flowers. And female is a flower on the end of what looks like a little squash, whether it's butternut or even a cucumber does this, or yellow zucchini. The female's on the end of what looks like a small fruit. The male is on the end of a simple stem. If you don't have both of them, you can't get pollination. Even if you have male and female, you got to get pollen from the male flower to the female flower, either by bees or by hand, or else it doesn't get pollinated. If it doesn't get pollinated, the flower falls off. That what looks like a fruit is an undeveloped type of thing. It just shrivels up, falls off. So anyway, it's just a lack of pollination. That's all it is. Pretty common.
Now, that leads to one of my questions, and we can get to it after we talk with Ann in Ballardsville.
Hey, good morning, Ann. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Felder.
What's up?
I have in my possession a Sistina plum tree, and it needs to be put in its forever home. It says it needs full sun. When should I put it in its forever home?
A lot of people have, they say, well, you plant in the wintertime. You can plant a container-grown plant anytime you can dig a good hole, literally anytime. But it's better if you plant in the fall or the winter so there's not as much stress on the plant, because it's really important not just dig a wide hole, but to loosen up some of that potting soil, and that's rough on a plant in hot, dry weather. So I'd go ahead and start digging the hole soon. Because you're not going to get it right the first time. If you're like me, you're going to say, nope, I'm out of here. But if you'll dig the hole 2 or 3 times over a period of a week or two, every time it gets a lot easier, it gets a lot better for the plant. And then just loosen up the potting soil, stir it into your dirt, plant it then.
Okay. So should I have high hopes for this beautiful thing in the picture to
This is a flowering plum. Is this a flowering plum?
It is.
Yeah. Yes. One of the other things, how tall is it?
Maybe 2 feet,
okay.
3 feet.
No problem at all. Yeah, go ahead and plant it sometime fall or winter. Water it a couple of times.
Okay.
If you go real dry, maybe put some leaves around the base of it to help feed. If you want to mulch around it, keep the lawnmower or the string trimmer off, bark or pine straw. But I would put some regular tree leaves on top of the ground first, because it feeds the worms that will circulate all down around the roots. And next year, when it sprouts out, and thin out the sprouts to the strongest 3 or 4. Those will become the main limbs for the rest of the tree's life. And if you start out with a bunch of cluttered limbs, it's going to be cluttered the rest of its life. So next year, thin them out. So this time next year, you got 3 or 4 really good, strong branches.
Okay. I never thought of that. I'll do that. Thank you.
All righty. Appreciate your call.
Uh-huh.
John, we got a bunch of calls today, man. A bunch of calls.
Yeah, it was rocking and rolling all across the state, too.
By the way, I want to warn folks, if you're taking a walk, I walked along the Pearl River. You go from the Waterways station in Jackson, walk along the river up to past the Museum of Natural Science, all the way up to, I forget the name.
Is that the museum trail?
Yeah. But they walked along there and saw alligators, by the way, so it's a cool place to take your kids. But let's show picture number 9 that I put in here. This is a golden orb spider. It's called a banana spider. This giving me, look at the goosebumps on here. I do not like spiders.
That is you don't like spiders, but that is one of the prettiest spiders.
It's a pretty spider, but the abdomen, the butt part of him, is the size of my thumb.
Yeah, no, it is a big spider too.
Yeah, they're not venomous. They're not going to hurt you.
Yeah,
but they have their webs across the trail, so I look like Gandalf because I got this old long scraggly hair, and I walk in holding a walking stick in front of me like a staff. And it's not because they're trying to look creepy. A lot of people walk down the trail thought, here's a creepy old guy walking around looking like a wizard with his staff. No, I was trying to keep the spider webs out of my face.
We had one of those at our home, and it just, when you see one, especially on this web, it's magnificent.
See if you get, John, see if you can put up picture number 8. This is actually the one you see more common in town. The other was called a banana spider. This was called the green. Well, it's just called the garden spider. It's black and yellow. It's also huge.
Very big.
They are so beneficial. They're so cool. But I know they creep us out. Nobody wants to look at a spider up close, but these are truly good guys out in the garden, and they'll be gone pretty soon.
Now, when you say good guys, give an explanation.
They eat stuff you'd rather not have. They eat moths and all sorts of things flying around. So anyway, they're beneficial. And then they also provide food for birds. So anyway, it's a weird world out there, man. But anyway, between the green and the black and yellow garden spider and the really pretty banana spider, golden orb spider, bless their hearts. But it's like wasp nests. I like wasps; they're very beneficial. But if it's right above my new screen door,
oh yeah, I don't want it.
I gotta go. New screen door. Anyway, we've been talking a lot about gardening today. I'm going to be going to swing by Wells Fest Saturday, but I'm going to the Ag Museum after I get off the program to plant some stuff to make a nice little ornamental herb and vegetable garden.
So some of these things in the studio, you had to take to the Ag Museum?
Oh, I got 3 more. I got 3 times as much, but it's going to be pretty.
Yeah,
and all winter without having to be watered and sprayed. And when I'm tired of looking at it, I can eat it. Matter of fact, I made a recipe the other day. I needed some mint. I don't have any in my yard because they're too weedy. I went up to the Ag Museum and stole some from there.
You got to stop using that word. You didn't steal any because
I planted it myself.
Yeah, you planted it yourself.
I pruned it so it'll thicken up.
There you go.
And instead of throwing it away, I ate it. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun today, Java.
Oh, yeah. No, it's always a good time. And shout out again to, the Union County Heritage Museum.
Oh yeah,
that had you up there last week.
It's a lot of fun. There in New Albany, a fantastic little garden.
Yeah,
and I didn't get to some of the chats about roots growing under houses and all that kind of stuff. But we're gonna be here every Friday. We got programs Monday through Friday right here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting. I want to give a shout out to John C. and to Abram Nanny, our live stream producers, my awesome producer Java Chapman, and all the folks here at Mississippi Public Broadcasting. Folks, it's a great weekend to go to a farmer's market, great weekend to go to a garden center. Get your big old pot, fill it full of ornamental plants that'll take you right through the wintertime and make you feel good about yourself. If you get a chance, take a kid with you and show them how to do what we do best, and that's get dirty. I love it. See y'all next week.